Police officers protect us from the evil people out there, but what if they turn out to be one among them? Today, we are going to reveal 3 female police officers who became the most wanted criminals and committed the unthinkable. Who are these female police officers? What did they do? Rose Valentino was a highly skilled police officer who had shown her immense dislocation and hard work towards her occupation in the police service, but an incident threw her off from her good record track and cut her name forever from the Cincinnati police officer list.
She said she became angry after a teenage student gave her the middle finger when she was over at Western Hills High School.
She was a star looked upon by her fellow officers. Her appearance in the TLC reality tube show gained her several fans. She had a positive attitude and was on good terms with most of the people she came across. On April 5, 2022, Rose Valentino was on duty and was driving her police car. She was heading to the district police station to hand over a report when she noticed disturbing traffic caused by many cars parked near Western Hills University High School. She was in the driveway and found it very difficult to drive as these cars were linked up before her as an obstacle. Even though she was in no hurry, she became very furious and switched on her sirens and light. The people who were in the cars were the parents of the students studying in the high school. They all came to pick up their children after school hours. Rose Valentino was aware of the situation, but she couldn't control her anger. She started being verbally angry and demanding they move their cars. Her window was down and she started yelling at the people to move their cars and provide her with a way out. A black male student was fossa pointed with the furious behaviors of Rose Valentino Demguille. He put up his middle finger. This was spotted by those, and she became even more furious. She reached a stage where she was no longer in control of her emotion. She started verbally abusing the boy by speaking mean words. She then started shouting the N-word, and this was heard by the crowd. Her frustration was due to the long lines of traffic and the ignorance shown by the people who did not move their cars. The incident was known to the public as it was recorded by the board camera in her car. Otherwise, she would have escaped the situation way before. As it was a recorded incident and primary evidence is there, actions had to be taken against her. The white police officer uses racial slurs against a high school student. This was the heading that covered all the newspapers and media. Rose Valentino was the one who claimed that the student showed her the middle finger. She has no evidence to prove her claim. Her board camera only recorded her racial slurs and aggressive behaviors. The student was not even visible in the board camera. Her claims will not stand on their own in court. She needs to prove it with evidence. As we look into the matter, we understand that Western Hills University High School is primarily filled with black students. Around 70% of the classroom strength is occupied by black students, was the interim police officer, and she thoroughly checked the circumstances and reason for Rose to lead up to get sort of character. City officials approved the recommendation of Teresa. Rose Valentino no longer enjoyed her role in the police service. The Cincinnati Police Department did not want a person like Rose Valentino to work for them. The next story is about Megan Hall, a patrol officer of Laverne. Her story would shock you forever. 4 officers got suspended along with Megan Hall for engaging in sexual acts during service. Juan Lugo Piers, Lewis Powell, Seneca Shields, and Henry T. McGowan were the 4 police officers who got the suspension. What did they do? What were the offenses they committed? Patrick Magliocco, Larry Holliday, and Gavin Schuberl were faced with immediate suspension. Jason Cole, Laverne's mayor, received information that Megan was having several affairs in her department. An investigation was conducted to find out the truth. Magliocco was the first to admit to having sex with her, and she even kissed his wife after discovering that he had an open marriage. Since the spring of 2022, Magliocco and his wife was engaging in sexual acts with Hall. They were even caught by her husband, but were not accused of anything severe. Powell was married when he had oral sex with Megan while on duty. He came to know that Hall had multiple partners, and this led him to confess his doings to his wife and come clean before her. Seneca Shields was the difficult one among these police officers, as he denied having any kind of sexual relation with Hall. When investigated further, he revealed that they were engaged in oral sex at the department's gym. They did these acts while being on duty, Holliday said that once he invited his fellow officers to his home, and they were all heavily drunk, but nothing happened in his home. Then, later on, he admitted to meeting Hall in hotel rooms and enhancing in sexual acts with her. McGowan had visited Hall's place along with his female friends, and they exposed their genitals before Hall. The Memorial Day hot tub party was the incident that led to the revelation of this major scandal. Officer Stats posted the video where they were all having fun. Magliocco forced Hall to drink vodka, and Hall was heavily intoxicated. She was unable to think in her right mind, and she took her top off at the party. Officer Durham was with Hall enjoying the pool when she showed her breasts to everyone. Stats tried to cover her up and protect her from future embarrassment. As the investigation went deeper, Hall was asked about all these accusations. She denied every one of them and said that she did not have any kind of sexual relations with the men in her department. She said that she had a relationship with Holliday. Apart from that, she did not have any kind of malicious relationships. She revealed that she had sent revealing images to the officers. She admits that she had a sexual relationship with Powell and Perez. Lugo was in denial that he had any kind of relationship with Hall. At the end of the investigation, the scandal was sealed by firing Hall, Lugo, Powell, Shields, and McGowan. Holliday, Magliocco, and Achieved were faced with a suspension due to their relationship with Hall. 26 February 1996 was the day this brutal murder happened. The daughter of Dr. Nels Rasmussen was murdered in Los Angeles. Before being murdered, Sherry felt stalked for a long time, and she informed her father about her concerns about being stalked. Stephanie J. Lazarus was the person who stalked Sherry. Sherry's father was desperately trying to bring out her murderer before the court, but police tried to close the case by putting it under the category of robbery. Many said that the police tried to cover up the murder and redirect it as they didn't want to lose one of their own. Why would Stephanie murder Sherry? What was the motive? Well, it's a love triangle. John, the husband of Sherry, was in love with Stephanie before he got married to Sherry. Stephanie was head over heels in love with John, but they could not get married to each other. They were in ULA together and celebrated their love for each other with the batch of '92, but their on and off relationship did not survive much. John met Sherry shortly after he ended things with Stephanie. Sherry was working at the Glendale Adventist Medical Center and was a sweetheart. He soon fell for her and asked her hands for marriage. Stephanie thought he lost John forever, but John decided to hook up with her for one last time. They had a secret relationship and no one knew about it. John later on ended things as soon as he got officially married in 1996. But Stephanie became emotionally locked in. Stephanie took her gun and shot Sherry to death in her house. John and left the place. The police officers couldn't find the murderer, but later on, they found out after 23 years through DNA tests. Do you think Stephanie killed Sherry? Is jealousy strong enough to kill a human being? Let us know in the comments